What's up everyone, this is Dream, and today I'm going to do a positioning video for assault maps. The first map we're going to work on is Hanamura, but I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. All assault maps are pretty much created the same. So if you pay attention to what I'm doing on Hanamura, you're going to be able to apply that to, any other assault map. When I'm on the other maps, I'm going to refer some of the similar structures back to this one, only because just by luck we started off on Hanamura, so I feel like this particular video is going to be helpful for other Mercy players because I'm going to provide the thinking process on why it's smarter to stand here as opposed to standing over there. If you find it useful or not useful, let me know in the comments below. I also don't have anything written down, so if I say a lot of ums and ers or whatever, or make weird sounds or say stuff that don't make sense, I apologize ahead of time. I've never been a great speaker, okay? But I find that it's just going to be a lot easier for me to just do a walkthrough, talk through kind of thing, so bear with me. Okay, so let's start off. Now, walking through the entrance of the spawn, make sure you're the last one to leave, because there's usually shit flying through the door or a junk rat trap in the front, and if you're the first to walk out and die, the team has to wait for you to respawn, and Mercy being dead first is the worst idea possible, so make sure you're the last one to leave. Whoever dies first, you can either res or wait for them to respawn, but Mercy is a very valuable character, so make sure you're the last one to leave. Always hold tight angles, as I say. I'm usually holding against here, taking a quick peek to see who's out in this window. Usually there's a Hanzo, Junkrat, or Widow there. They'll peek out for a little bit to also unleash hell down this street, and if they are, also hold a tight angle. I'll play this street a little bit different depending on what's going on, but usually I take this tight angle and heal my team as they head towards the choke, and I'll even peek out just a little bit just to see what kind of tanks the enemy team has to hold their choke, and once I get a good idea of what's going on in their team, then I like to hop over here, maybe get some health if I sustained some damage coming up here. However, if I'm standing here and I do end up taking some damage, I take a wider angle and head towards this health pack. Usually, you'll see me hiding here and healing my team at the choke. Now, the drawback to holding here is that you're not going to be able to see who's behind you. So if there's a Hanzo or if there's anyone here, they'll be able to kill you quickly and you won't be able to see it. You can also hold over here where you have this van. This is a pretty good spot as well because you get a good, you get a lot of visual information being here. You can see who's at this window, you can see who's up there or on this ledge, and you can also see who's at the choke. The only thing is that if they're also spamming over here, you don't really have a lot of spaces to hide. So you kind of just have to move your way around and heal around it. But if you do take damage, there's also a large health pack in here for you. Now, once you do make it through the choke, everyone wants to go into this right room. This is a terrible idea. Never go into this right room. Do you hear me? Let me say it one more time. Do not go into this right room. It's a death room. It's so enclosed, and you're going to take so much damage that by the time you get to this health pack, it's not going to be enough to heal everyone who just came through here. There's usually going to be a Junkrat or a tank here. It's just not a good idea. Nothing good ever came out from going into this right room. However, if you do make it, just make your way upstairs. Again, make sure you're the last one to leave this entrance and just fly across to your teammates, because look at how slow you walk. You walk really slow. You'll be able to Guardian Angel a lot faster. My favorite way through this choke is going directly across and straight to the point. That's my favorite thing to do on Hanamura. Usually I'm just telling the Reinhardt to just charge straight through, because really, that's just what you gotta do. You just gotta get straight to the point. I don't like to walk, straight across either, because there's just not much cover. I mean, this little rock is not gonna do much for me either. But if the team charges straight through, you'll see me go along this side, and I'll make use of these beams to hide behind, because even though it's just a little bit of cover, it's something is better than nothing. Now these pillars, compared to just being out here, you'll be able to take a lesser amount of damage, and then you can heal your team and then play around this bell, and then eventually even make your way up here. This is the best spot for Mercy to be if you don't have anywhere to hide on the point. You'll see me behind here healing my team through this little window spot. Because, again, you have cover. And also, if you're not able to see them, you can also peek out here and heal them too. But usually I'm right here healing the team. Now, another way is going left. I'll only go left if, you know, my team is also pushing left. Otherwise, you know, I prefer going this way. But if we're going left, I just go upstairs and I'll heal my team through this window. It's not a really smart spot just because if there are enemies that are coming back from their spawn, they're gonna easily kill you because you're right out here in the open. So only stay here for a short amount of time. Top off your team, make your way around here, grab this health pack if you really need to, and then again, same spot. You can heal from here if you really want. But if you want to be a little bit more safer, you can heal back here. And you'll have one health pack just to yourself. So if you take damage, you can keep stepping over it. And then you can also heal through this window as well. The only thing is that your beam is not really long enough to heal anyone who is fighting around these areas. So eventually you're going to have to drop down and also heal from here. And then heal from the bell. And then eventually just make your way back here. Now for Valkyrie, anytime you use Valkyrie, you know, you're gonna want to think of where you're gonna end up landing when your Valkyrie ends. The best spot to land for Hanamura attack is up here. I'll usually end up here because who's really gonna get you from up here unless they make their way back here to shoot you. But even if they do, you can always make your way around this corner and hide. But this is a really OP spot. You can heal your team from here, and you'll have this these walls to hide behind, and it's a really good spot. You can heal your team from here, and then once point A is captured, everyone's going to want to push top right, because that's just what everyone does. Everyone wants to hold high ground, which is a good idea, except this stairway. This is the stairway of death and hell and everything bad in this world. Alright, you can either for Mercy, you're gonna want to hold here. This is where I usually hold as Mercy, because who's really gonna get you out here? Nobody. The spam is not gonna get you from here. You have a large health pack to heal you if you really need to, and you get visual information of the backline. So you'll be able to see if there's any flankers, you know, any tracers, Genjis, or maybe even if a Pharah. You know, I've seen Pharahs come from above and rain hell down on us. But once we make it through, again, make sure you're the last one to leave, fly across, and also don't make the mistake of not looking down this way, because usually there's going to be enemies here. So fly through, take a quick look. If there's no one here, hold here. I don't like holding up here because it's also pretty open, and whoever comes upstairs could possibly kill you. So at least if you're here, you have some cover to hide behind. So heal your team from here, and you'll be able to hide yourself from the stairway. Now, if your team wants to go here, in this area, again, tight angle, hold here. Now, once you make it onto the point, there's really not a lot of places where you can safely heal from. Okay, you can heal from over here because there's a nice health pack for you. But the thing is that your beam is not long enough to reach everyone on the point if they're on the other edge of the point. So eventually you're going to find yourself flying onto the point out into the open again. You can also heal from this side where you can heal your teammates, but again, your beam is not going to be long enough to heal your teammates on this side. So eventually you're going to find yourself flying on point and healing everyone on the point out in the open again. Now, where I usually like to hold is these two lampposts. Oh my god, my kitten. Okay, now, I usually like to hold these two lampposts. These are going to be your best friends. I'm usually pretty much doing a figure eight around these, hiding behind these, making my way around each of these, just to not take any damage. These are going to be your best friends. These are your best friends for assault maps. And you're going to see, you know, similar structures just like these two lampposts in every assault map, and you're going to see pretty quickly what I mean once you watch my entire video. If you do watch my entire video, if you do, thank you very much. Now for Valkyrie, the best spot for you to land is up here. Only because this is a really great spot. No one's gonna look up here when they're coming back from spawn. Everyone who comes out from spawn is gonna want to stand on the point to make sure you're not capping it. So you can heal your team up here, and there really isn't any threat that can kill you up here unless there's a diva that flies up here, or a Pharah, or a Winston. But if they do, you can just drop back down and then play behind these two lampposts again. Or if there's a soldier up here, you can really play with the curvature of this frame. Because see, if you crouch down, he won't be able to kill you unless he uses his missiles. But you know, you'll be able to just chill here and regen your health. But if you do take too much damage, again, just drop down to the point and then play behind these two. But it really only takes a second to connect your beam to a teammate, and they can just duck back here real quick, and then eventually peek out again and hide. So yeah, this is a really good spot to land on only for attack. Now, for defense, if you're up here, you're making a really bad move, only because you're pretty much out in the open, and you can easily die. Again, you can try to use the curvature of this frame to hide behind. Like if they're pushing up there, you can use this to hide against the people on this ledge, or you can hide here to hide from the window, and then if they're coming through the middle, you can use this little thing to hide behind, or if there's someone there, you can, you know, hide over here. But really, this is not really smart for Mercy to be on for defense. The only smart places to land for Valkyrie on defense is wherever your team is holding. So if they're holding over there, you know, land over there with them, or over here with them, or over here, depending on where your team's holding. Now, if you have a Pharah and you guys end up playing on the balcony side, again, just hold a tight angle. If you need to heal, there's a large health pack. The only thing is that it's not wise to get the health pack once the enemy team is pushing through here, because you're gonna get healed, and then you're gonna end up dying. So once they come through, just back out. It's really easy for you to back out back there and get a health pack from over there, as opposed to going in here and dying. Now, once you guys finally do push through this side, make sure you tell the Pharah to give you the high position, which is where you want to be. Now, defense for point A, Hanamura, I am always here. This is probably the best spot for Mercy to be in my opinion, just because you get a lot of visual information. I can easily heal my teammates at the choke from here, and if there happens to be a Tracer, a Genji, or a Sombra zipping by, I can see where they go and then position myself accordingly to where they go. Now, I find that some Mercies do like to hold in here, but again, why? Why would you want to? You don't really get that much visual information. You can see the choke, and then here, and then that's it. If somebody zips by, you're not gonna know where they went, and you're probably gonna die, because, I mean, you just don't know where they went. And this health pack is not really gonna give you a lot of health either, and if they do push in on you, you're not gonna have anywhere to go to, and then by the time you back out to this side, you're gonna be dead. At least if I'm here, I have a lot of people to fly to. Sometimes I can fly to a soldier up here, or Torbjorn on the point. It depends on where the teammate is, but usually I'll have an escape route if I'm out here, as opposed to being in here. Again, you know, it's the same distance for me to get this health pack if I really need it, if I was standing here healing my team anyways. It's the same distance. Okay, I'm just on the other side of this wall. So it's a better area for you guys to be in. Sometimes I'll even hide behind this rock if I really need to, but I don't really like to stay here that often, just because sometimes there's a widow in there. But if I really have to, I'll make use of this rock as well for a short bit of time, and then I'll eventually come back over here. Now, sometimes when I'm healing here, and the tanks sustain too much damage, they like to back off in here, and then I'm gonna have to eventually fly over. Sometimes I'll hold this tight angle here, but I really don't like being here, just because sometimes there's a Widow or a Hanzo up there or up here who can easily kill you. So I would say if you really have to hold this side, I'd say this spot is better than right here. If you're gonna hold here, just hold here for a short bit, but then make your way here. You can even hold defense up here if you really want to. Again, you could take damage from anyone who comes up here, or up here, so I don't really like to hold up here. Unless I'm really not threatened by the enemy team, then you'll see me up here. But otherwise, right there's the best spot for defense. Now, once they make their way onto the point, there's really not much places to go. You can play against this bell, or you can heal out here, or you can even heal back here. But really, there's not a lot of places you can go. Now, for a defense Valkyrie, again, hopefully by the time you're finished using Valkyrie, your teammate has killed the other team. But if you really need somewhere to land, I would say up here is also a good spot, only if it's safe, and there's no enemies on this side. But otherwise, there's really not much places to drop down on when Valkyrieing. For defense, Hanamura, point B. Everyone wants to hold top left. And sometimes you'll see me down this stairway healing my teammates, but I really don't like to be in this enclosed space, because many times there's going to be a Sombra, Genji, or Tracer coming up here and killing me, and I don't have anywhere to go except for up here. And then by the time I fly to my team, I've already sustained so much damage that they're probably just going to slash through me or dash to me and punch me in the face, and I'll die. So I don't like to stay in that stairway that often. You'll see me mostly hold here, healing my teammates. But then again, I don't really get that much visual information unless my team comes to me. But at least I won't be able to take any damage unless there's a Widow out in this balcony who really wants to kill me. But I don't really often see that, so usually I'm here healing my teammates, and then I'll even heal my teammates who are holding these two windows. Also, sometimes you'll see me right against this wall, healing my team from both windows if they want to get picks, and then I can even, connect my beam to my teammates up there if they sustain some damage, or even over here if they've taken some damage trying to hold this door. I'm usually here most of the time, I'd say, because no one can really kill me from here unless they push to this door. But then again, I can just fly to my teammates up here if there are any. Usually there are, so I'll always have somewhere to fly to. Now, if you want to be in an even more safer spot for Mercy, I would say up here. If you can get up here, it's a really safe spot for Mercy if you're really trying to hide from someone specific, because you can't get flanked up here. The only way you could ever get killed up here is if they are up here, or find a way to get up here. But usually, it's a really safe spot for you. The only thing is that you're going to be flying across all over the place to heal your teammates. And even while flying, you might die. So I don't suggest staying here for a really long time. I'd say just stay here long enough to regen your health if you really need to, or if your team is just not taking any damage at the moment, just stay here and stay alive. But I really suggest this spot for defense. For defense, if they're pushing the enemy team back through the main entrance, again, you can use these two as well. They work the same way just as on attack. Now, let's say the enemy team has killed your team, and now they're sitting on the point. And you're coming out of spawn. Where do you go? Usually, I find myself coming out of spawn and using either this beam or this wall. I love this wall. Thank you so much, wall. You're the best wall ever. Usually, I'll use this beam to quickly res someone who has died here, or I'll res someone from here as well. And then I'll just peek around this wall and hide behind, because who's gonna get you from behind this wall unless they do this? No one really does that, and they can't jump over this little ledge either, so they're gonna have to use the stairway to get to you. And then once they do, you just kind of have to position yourself according to what they do. But otherwise, there's not really much you can do besides hide behind this wall and heal your teammates. And that is defense for Hanamura. Alright, now we are now on Horizon Lunar Colony. Now, a lot of people really hate this map, but I feel like after playing, a lot of games on it already, I kind of get the gist of where to position myself. Starting off, you really want to know where the team is going to want to go, because then you can find which door you want to be at. This middle door, no reason to be in here, because you're going to eventually go left and right. There's no fucking center way to move through. So find out where they want to go. And if they want to go left, pick the closest door to the left. It's just going to save you some time. You know, every second counts on a salt map. And this wall is going to be your best friend, because usually there's going to be a projectile flying through, just like the streets down of Hanamura. So make sure you hide behind this wall, and then make sure you're the last one to go around the wall. And when you do fly across, take a second to just make good use of your visual information and peek through this little hole to see what they have. You only get a second of time, but it's enough to see what they got. And then hold a tight angle, and then make your way around into this room. I like to hold here for a little bit, make sure my team goes through, and then also again make sure I'm the last one to leave, because my guardian angel makes me fly a lot faster than walking, because look at how slow you walk. You're going to take a lot of damage during that walking time, as opposed to just flying straight across. Now, this stairway can either be a good thing or a bad thing. If they're spamming shit down here, definitely a bad thing. I'd suggest backing out and going under. But if there's no one up here, it's a really good spot to hold, because look how much high ground space you have, right? You have this entire space. You can shoot the team from the other side while being there. You can see the point from here. You can see people who's holding this entry spot right there. And then you can also hold here, which I usually like to do on Horizon Lunar. It's just a really good spot to be. No one can really get you from behind, because if there are enemies behind you, they're in a terrible spot anyways. They shouldn't be back there. So you'll find me up here healing my team, and if they're getting damaged by the stairway, my beam is long enough to still reach them as well. The only thing is that if they back out underneath me, then I kind of have to, you know, move back here or drop down to heal them. I can also damage boost the Farah if she's shooting down this window, and then I can also damage boost the soldier if he's up here shooting down at the team from this side. And then once you get down here, there's really not a lot of places for you to hide as Mercy. Sometimes I'll hide here and heal the teammates on the point. Sometimes I'll even be on the point. If there's a shield, an Orisa shield or a Ryan shield, I'll hide behind it as well. But if I'm taking a little bit too much damage, I like to hop out this window just for a second so I can regen my health, and then I can hop up and then fly back to my teammates on the point, which you'll see me do pretty often. You really shouldn't be in this back area, and I'll let you guys know on defense the reason why. And then for Valkyrie on attack, the best spot for you to be is here, on this tire. These other tires you can stand on, is just not in a good spot for you to stand on, because if you're on this tire, people who are coming back can be able to see you and kill you. Also here too, they'll be able to see you and kill you, but at least here, they won't be able to see you because you have this wall to hide behind. And they're not going to be looking this way once they come onto the point. They're going to be looking at people on the point. So you can be able to heal your team from up here easily. I'm going to show you what it looks like when they're coming back from the spawn onto the point. See, they're not going to see you. That tire is pretty well hidden as opposed to these two. They're going to be here. They're going to shoot everyone, and then they're going to see, oh crap, there's a Mercy here. And then when they do, that's when you drop down and, you know, either position there or out there. Now if you're pushing left side, make sure your team picks the closest door, because that takes less time again. Just hold a tight angle on the left side. Now the reason why I say ask your team where you're going is because usually when you're going the right side, your team is gonna all of a sudden say, hey, let's go left, and you're gonna have to go across this pretty much this open space of death to get to the left side, which doesn't make sense, because if you're gonna go left anyways, you might as well go through the left door, because it's a lot safer. You don't have to walk through this death area. And if you're going right, look how easy that is, as compared to being on the left side and saying, oh, let's go through the right stairway. Okay, let me just go this way, dude, and kill myself. Okay, so pick which way you're gonna go and hold a tight angle. Now this is gonna be your best friend while turning the corner, because you get a little bit of coverage. And then again, make sure you're the last one to cross. If you're kind of taking a little bit too much damage and you're getting freaked out and you want to Guardian Angel over, make sure that you at least land here, because then you have this little bit of cover against the opening window. And then you get a health pack here to heal. You can either play behind this and heal your teammates, but I don't really like to be here because it's a pretty wide angle and they can see you and you might take damage and you might die. So usually I've been liking to hold here because then they can't really see you and you can still heal your teammates the same way. And usually there's another one of my teammates over there who's really damaged and I can kind of duck under and heal them as well. So that's why I like to be here as opposed to being over here. But if you are over here, you can also make use of this thing as well and heal your teammates from here. Because see, at least you can have like a little bit of vision while having some cover because you can still see through the glass. The only thing is that the enemy team that is coming back from the spawn can easily kill you from behind. That's why I don't suggest being this way. Now, say you have capped point A, now you have to cap point B. Again, just like 𝐒𝐤𝐚𝐥𝐬, everyone wants to push top right. This is also the Stairway of Death. It's just a lot shorter. I like to hold here, just like 𝐒𝐤𝐚𝐥𝐬, heal my team, because you get a lot of visual information as well on the back line. Sometimes there's a Roadhog flanking or a Tracer flanking, and you want to let your team know as soon as you see that so they're able to turn around and help you. Now once you do make it through, there's really not a lot of places for you to go. I do feel like up here is a really good spot for Mercy to be at, if there's no one up here to kill you. Because they're not really going to look at you up here. They're going to pay attention to everyone on the point. But if you do start receiving damage, I suggest you drop down. And these two work just the same as the 𝐒𝐤𝐚𝐥𝐬 lampposts on point B. You use them the same way. So just hide behind them, heal your team. Sometimes I'll even heal from this truck, and there's a health pack just like 𝐒𝐤𝐚𝐥𝐬. What do you know? I heal from here, but again, your beam is too short. So eventually you're gonna fly over and heal them anyways. But then you got a lamppost here. Well, not a lamppost, a beam, but it works the same shit. This works the same way. So you can heal your team from here. Is pretty much all you can do for Lunar. Oh my god, Lunar. For fucking Lunar colony. These two. I don't think this is a good spot. It's just a really dangerous spot for you to be in. Just because people who are coming out can easily kill you, even though there's a large health pack. This is just not a smart spot for you to be in. The only reason why you should be in here is if your team decides to push left side. But I really feel like nothing good ever really comes out from pushing this way. I've never had a successful push through the left side. So the only reason you should be here is if your team has pushed this way and they're onto the point. But then again, you shouldn't stay here for that long. Eventually make your way onto the point and hide behind one of these two beams. Now for Valkyrie attack, you can end up on here. The only drawback to being up here is that depending on where the moving platform is, you can only heal people who are pretty much directly underneath you. And if they're in different spots on the point, your beam is not going to be long enough to reach them. So eventually you're going to have to drop down anyways to heal them. So only use this if you just need a spot to hide behind, like a safe spot. Because who's really going to get you up there? No one. Unless, you know, Pharah or D.Va or cheeky Winston. But that's a spot you can consider to land on for Valkyrie. But I also suggest up here is a good spot for Valkyrie. Now for defense point A, there's a few ways you can play it. You can hold up here if you know that they're going to have a Pharah, because at least if you're up here, you'll be able to kill her before she even reaches the point. It's pretty good, and you get a lot of visual information. You see where everyone's going, and you're probably able to get some picks. I mean, how annoying is it to come out on attack and see everyone on high ground? It's really difficult for you to push in. Once you do get, you know, a few picks and start backing off to the point, dropping down and fucking angelic descent your ass down back onto the point, like the graceful and angel that you are. This point is extremely open. There's really not a lot of places for you to hide except for back here. This post is all you have. So That's why I say when you're starting to receive damage from all areas, you start to freak out because you have nowhere to hide. You know, your shields are broken. We're all kind of huddled into the middle, like, what do I do? I'm going to die. But this spot is the only safe spot for you to be as Mercy until someone comes here and you start receiving damage. Then you just know that you're gonna lose this point. That's why when you guys start pushing in, everyone's huddled back here because this is the only protection we have. And if there's someone shooting from over here, you are for sure dead, and this point is gone. Now, if you're gonna Valkyrie, the only spot for you to hide is pretty much up there. That's the only spot you got for defense. Or back here, but that's all you have for defense. Sometimes as well for defense, I like to step out here and heal my team too. If there's no one over here, I like to step out and heal this way. If the enemy team is pushing the left side, I like to back out here and heal my team. Now, defense for point B for Horizon Lunar is you can use this wall just the same as Hanamura. You know, you can usually your teammates are going to be dead around here, just because they're going to be backed up into a corner. So make use of this wall again to res them, and then also heal them from behind as well. Usually I can be up here healing my team who is holding the choke, but my beam is not long enough, so sometimes I'm here, which I don't like to be. It's just really out in the open, and I don't really have anywhere to fly to. The stairway is also a possible place for you to hide, except you don't really have, you know, that much space to back up into. So sometimes you'll see me just drop down onto this truck and heal my teammates from down here, because at least if I'm down here, you know, I'm not right up in their face. I'm a little bit down more, so they won't be able to really see me. And then if I do start to take a little bit of damage, there's a health pack right there just for me. Sometimes I even drop down further onto floor level and heal them, because then at least they can't see me at all. All they can see is my beam connected to my teammates. So sometimes I do that, but if I'm playing, if I am extremely afraid of the enemy team and I have my ult and I know that an ult is coming and it's very important for me to have it and use it for the next fight, I'll play very, very passively and I'll hang out over here by this spawn. Because once I start receiving damage, I can easily just back up into the spawn and be completely safe and nothing can hurt me. And then some people even try to kill me even while I'm still in the spawn, and I end up killing them most of the time as well. So I'm going to let my team know that I'm going to hang around by the spawn just because I'm scared and I'm going to use my Valkyrie pretty soon and there's ults coming soon. Let your team know, and then usually they kind of back off into this area where my beam is able to reach them. I'll only step out a little bit just to heal them, to top them off, and then I'll quickly back around here so I can back into the spawn. And then over here you can also heal, you know, your soldier or your Torbjorn or your Risa, if they're holding this spot over here. For defense, though, there's not really a lot of places to Valkyrie into. Again, you can Valkyrie up into this moving beam, but, you know, depending where it is, you're going to have to eventually drop down. I would say probably just over here is the best spot for you to land. Sometimes I even play over here to heal my teammates if I really have to. But there's not a lot of places to really land on Valkyrie. You just kind of hope that by the time you're finished using Valkyrie, your team has killed the entire enemy team. Alright, now we are on Anubis, the most terrible 2 CP map on the fucking planet. But it's whatever, because you know what, we're gonna tell you some good positioning places to hide behind. Usually for attack, I'm usually hiding here, making sure I'm the last one again to cross, just because everyone's gonna be spamming down this stairway, just like Hanamura. So I quickly fly over here and heal my teammate at the choke. Now here I feel like it's kind of like the Lunar map, alright? If you want to go right, come through the right side and either dive the point and then go through the right room. And if you want to go left, go through the left stairway into this room or dive the point, because a lot of people want to go right just because that's what everyone does. Everyone goes right, so let's just all go right and then let's go cross through this giant open area into the left room and then receive tons of damage and also die. So yeah, usually we'll be here and then everyone says, hey, let's go left. Okay, let's go left. So I'll usually fly over and I'll at least stop here and kind of use this to hide behind, and then I'll fly through again as the last person into this room. So if we're over here, I usually like to hold here, a tight angle here. Sometimes there's a Pharaoh or somebody spamming from up there or somebody coming from back here. That happens sometimes. So usually I heal them here and then eventually I heal them here. It's not really smart for you to be here, although I do kind of play in here if I feel kind of scared to be out there. There's just not a lot of places for you to run to if the team starts pushing in here because you're in a enclosed room. But if your team is here and you don't feel safe being out there, this is where I'll probably find myself healing my team. And if they do die, I can also res them from right here without receiving too much damage. And then also there's a large health pack for you. Once they start pushing through, they'll either push straight to the point or charge straight through here. I'll make use of these pillars as well to hide behind. And then once we do make it to the point, there's not really a lot of places for you to hide on attack. These rooms are going to be extremely dangerous because just like Lunar, there's not a lot of places to go, and they're going to back into wherever they can, which is going to be these rooms and this small health pack. Once you land on the point, you just got to hide behind a shield or, even this little thing. Now, if your team actually wants to push right, this is also just like Hanamura, the right room of death. Usually we die when we go in here, but I just kind of sit in here, make sure my team passes, and then make sure I'm the last one to leave, and then I kind of just guardian angel my way over here. Sometimes they'll want to push in here, but most of the times they'll want to go all the way up here into the high ground, and you get 2 health packs. You get that one, and also this large one up here. If you do end up here, I like to hold this room, because at least if I do take damage, I can get this health pack. I can also heal my team from over here. Sometimes I'll even go over here if I'm afraid that the enemy team is going to come up behind us through here, because if I'm here and my teammates are here, I can be able to see the enemy team come through, and I'll be able to tell my team ahead of time before the enemy team reaches here to kill them. I can tell them that, hey, the enemy is coming behind us, and then they'll either drop or move their way down here. But if they do, I can also move my way down here and heal my teammates from up here. And if I see the enemy team pushing towards me, then I can also drop down too. So it gives me a little bit of time to stay on this high ground. This is also where you want to land for Valkyrie on attack as well. Up here is also a good spot to land on Valkyrie. And up here is also a good spot to land on Valkyrie. Now you capped point A and you have to get to point B. Point B is the absolute worst point to try to frickin' cap, alright? I will say that again. That is the worst spot to frickin' cap on the planet. Okay, there's just really nowhere to go. It's either you're gonna get the point or you're not. And you're gonna know that pretty quickly by the way they push. Most of the times, they just want to push center, just hide here, heal them. Once they go in, hide here and heal them. I really don't find myself in this area, even though there's a small health pack there. I really don't find myself there because it's just really enclosed. Sometimes there's enemies up here who's shooting down at you. So usually I find myself over here because I feel like I can easily back out and get away if something's damaging me. But pretend your team is still going through the mid. I'll be here healing them. I'll heal them again here. And then you have this, and this works just like the Hanamura lamppost. You'll find me kind of go around it and heal my teammates, and I'll even drop down and I'll jump up again and fly towards them. But this is a really good spot for you to be in. And I'll even use this one if I really have to. I'll even do figure eights around them too to avoid taking damage. This is a very good spot for attack to land on. Because being up here, you can hide from the enemy who are respawning. You can hide behind here. And you can also heal your teammates. It's really hard for them to kill you up here unless, they're a Diva or a Winston. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like for an enemy. See, if she's ducking up there, it's really hard to kill her. And then they can either pay attention to the point and kill the people on the point, or they can pay attention to you and then get shot at by everyone on the point. So they're gonna have to decide what they want to do. And most of the times, they're not gonna really care about you because you're not going to kill them. You're gonna be healing their team, your team. So they're gonna be here fighting, and you're gonna live a lot longer if you're up there. Sometimes your team is gonna want to push right, and you have this little bit of coverage here, or you have this pole, but there's not really that much coverage, so I usually kind of just find myself holding here, and then I don't really like to go this way, but if I do, I will. I'll sometimes hold a tight angle and heal from here, but most of the times I'll be here and healing my team. But my beam won't be able to reach them, so eventually I'll find myself, you know, flying and playing around this pillar as well. You can also get up on this pillar if you have time, or if you have someone who wants to come up here. This is a good spot to be if you don't have your Valkyrie, but you have someone who's quick enough to get up there. Sometimes you can even push the left side, which is most of the time not really that great either. I find that a lot of people die in this room. But you have a small health pack, so I mean, that's something. It's not going to be a lot. There's going to be a choke spot here. Usually I just hold a tight angle. Now the only reason why I would be in this back room healing is if we pushed left side and we pushed in. Because now I can't get up there unless I have Valkyrie. So I'll be pushing in, and then I'll be making my way towards the back here, and I'll heal my team from here and over here. And then once the enemy team starts pushing in here to try to kill me, then that's when I start making my way over to this pole to heal. Now for defense on Anubis. Usually I like to hold on high ground, and I'm going to show you how to get up there as Mercy. I usually just take these stairs, glide down, get up here, and get up here. This is where I usually like to hold on Anubis as Mercy. It's pretty easy. You can heal your teammates and damage boost as long as they're pretty much around this area. And if they're not, tell them, hey, I can heal you if you just move a little bit closer towards me. Because if they want to be healed or damage boosted, they're going to move towards you. This is a really good spot to be in because you really cannot take damage from anywhere. Because you're completely hidden from the choke. The Widow can't get you, you can't be spammed from their choke or anything. So you're really in a safe spot to heal and damage your teammates. You get a lot of visual information. If a Tracer or a Genji or anyone starts zipping through onto the point, you'll be able to see and tell your teammates. If they're coming back around here, you'll be able to tell your teammates. And if you see, you know, some shadows over there, then you'll know that they're pushing the right side. The only time that I'll start to drop is if I see a tank back off over into that area, and like if they don't have a shield or anything, that's the only time I'll drop down. But then I'll be using these pillars to kind of hide behind and heal him. Sometimes you can even hold here too with your teammates if you don't have time to make it all the way back to your spot here, or if you don't have anyone who can get you up here, then that's when you'll see me around here playing around these pillars. Sometimes I'll be right here healing my teammates, but usually I'll be here. Only because I'll have a big giant Rhine shield or an Orisa shield to hide behind. But then when there's a Widow up here, I can also hide here. You can also hide here if you really, really want to. You can peek and heal your team from here because you can completely hide yourself from the choke, as well as up here if there's a Widow. You can also hide here for when they're pushing the right side and you don't really have anywhere to hide because they can't damage you from up here. You'll be able to heal your teammates. But if you don't have time, you can also hide from here. Or again, you can hide from this pillar. Hide behind this pillar as well and heal your teammates. Once they start pushing through, you just have to drop down onto the point. And there's, again, as I said on attack, there's really not any places for you to go on defense. So you gotta back off into these rooms and grab this health pack, or you can even back up into here and heal your teammates. I'm not usually over here because I don't really find any reason to be over here as opposed to being over here, because there's actually something useful in there, and there's nothing useful in here. So I'm only here if I absolutely have to be, and I can't make my way over there. Sometimes I'll be over here even to hide, and then sometimes I'll even be over here and healing my teammates. Now for Valkyrie on defense, again, hopefully by the time you're finished using Valkyrie, your team has killed their team, but if not, the best place for you to land is up here, but only if it's safe, and then also up here only if it's safe, and then also up here if only it's safe. Now for defense on Anubis, there's really not a lot of places for Mercy to hide. Technically you can be up here for defense, but I just don't find that it's a really safe spot, just because when you're up here and healing your team, they're going to see your beam and they're going to know you're up here. And for them, it's really easy for them to come up here because they have a way. They just come up here and they climb up here and then they hop over and then you're dead. So if I have to be up here, I make sure I'm only here for a little bit, and then eventually I'll drop down. Usually I'll be here behind a Rhine shield, or I'll be playing again behind this pillar to heal my teammates, because at least if I'm here, the Widow can't shoot me, because there's usually a Widow here or over here. Depending on where she is, I'll position myself accordingly. So I'll heal my teammates from here. Sometimes I'll even heal from here if I'm feeling kind of scared. Usually I won't be healing back here though for defense, because it's just not really a safe spot for me. And then sometimes I'll heal from here on defense. And if your team is feeling pretty confident and they want to hold a choke, I'll be here healing my teammates, or I'll be here healing my teammates. Usually I'm here though, because then at least if they're taking damage, I can drop down and get a health pack, and then make my way back up to the point. Now say the enemy team is pushing the right side, I usually just like to stay here and heal my teammates as they're defending this side. And then if they start pushing in, that's when I use this pillar to hide behind. And I can jump and heal my teammates. Alright, now we are on Volskya. There's two ways you can play it. Usually I've been finding a lot of people wanting to go to the right side. But the only thing I don't like about the right side is that everyone on defense is holding this side. So when you're on the right side, you don't really know what's going on. You just see a Rhine shield and projectile flying through this side. But I'll just be here healing, and maybe I'll even fly across to heal people on the other side. The only thing about being on this side is that if there's a Hanzo or a Junkrat or somebody spamming from up there, you'll be able to see them and take damage from them. Hopefully your team will be smarter though to know that it's probably the best to be pushing through the left side. Because again, the team is going to be here with a giant shield and spam coming through, and if you really want to get through the choke, you just have to go the opposite side of where the shield is. And usually I'll tell my team, hey, why don't we just go through the left side where there's not projectile flying through and not a giant shield in your face. And usually it works out. If we have a Lucio, we can easily speed through straight to the point, which I really like to do. Or you can go into this left room. I do find that this is also a death room as well, just like on the right side. The right side is also a death room. I just like to go straight through. If you do find yourself pushing yourself through the left side, you get a little health back there if you receive a little bit of damage. Sometimes after they go through the left, they go straight to the point, or sometimes if there's a soldier, we'll take high ground and you'll be able to heal and damage boost from here without taking any damage. There's also a small health pack there if you really need it, but usually I don't. Usually I regen most of my health and I don't really use health packs unless I really need one. But yes, up here is a pretty good spot for Mercy and Soldier to be at. If we are pushing the right side, I'll be playing around this room, or sometimes I'll be playing behind this and healing my teammates. The only thing is that if you're holding here, the enemy team that's coming back from their spawn can easily see you and kill you, so make sure you make a quick look, and if there's nobody, just heal them quick. Otherwise, I'll be here and healing. And at least this can block you from the enemy coming back from their spawn. So you'll be able to heal and fly through. Once you're in the point, again, there's not really much places for you to hide in except for in here. Because at least if you hide here, there's a small little health pack for you. You can make, you know, use of this little structure to hide behind. But if the enemy team is pushing through here, I kind of just move myself back here, or I go up there where the soldier is. You can even go back here if you really need to heal your teammates. But mostly this room, even though there's a really large health pack, mostly people on defense is going to end up falling back around here. So you really shouldn't be over here. Unless there's no one over here, then you can be in here all day. But usually I find that people on defense is going to want to back off into this room, just because this is just the more valuable health pack as opposed to this one. And then on Volskya, if you're Valkyrying, the best spot for you to land is right there, or up here, or up there if it's safe. Only if it's safe. Otherwise, there's not really a lot of good places to land on after Valkyrie. Now you capped point A, and now you have to cap the dreaded point B. Usually, if I make my way, I'm making use of this truck to hide behind. You know, just use some cover. Just, that's pretty much all you do. Hold tight angles, hide behind covers. I'm hiding here, taking a tight angle. And if we're moving through, I'll hide behind this. Then I'll hide behind this, and I'll heal my teammates as they're on the point. If they want to go onto this elevator thing, we can do that too. I'll use this to hide behind, and I'll be able to heal who's ever up here with me. I'll also be able to heal people who are coming through the choke from up here too. So you'll see me do that sometimes. And then I can also use this to heal people who are at least around this range here onto the point. And I can even make my way up here. This is the best spot for Mercy ever on Volskya. You'll see me up here every single time on Volskya, on attack or defense. This is really good for attack only because no one is going to look at what it takes for someone to come up here, okay? This stairway is an abomination, okay? If anyone wants to kill me, they're gonna have to run their way up this stairway and up to get me. And when there's people on the point, they're not gonna take that time to run all the way up here, unless, you know, there's a Diva, Winston, or, you know, just people who can fly. Maybe Tracer might come up here and get me, but the chances of someone making that way to kill me is very, very unlikely. This is why I'm always up here as Mercy. I mean, how annoying is it? And I'll show you what it's like on defense. You know, you come up here, you see a Mercy up there, you're like, oh my god, kill the fucking Mercy! And she just ducks back in there while her beam is connected and healing her teammates. And then, of course, you're receiving damage from all over the place. And it's either they're going to make the choice to kill you or kill the people on the point. And chances are they're going to want to kill the people on the point, because you're just not a threat to them at the moment. You're just healing your teammates. If you guys decide to push the left side, I kind of heal them from here. If they want to push this lower ground, I heal from here, heal here, heal there. And if they're on the point, I kind of heal from back here. If they want to go up on the higher ground, kind of just follow them around. Heal them here, heal them here. Usually I don't find myself up here though. No one really pushes up here, so I mean, just hold tight angles if you end up pushing up here. Now for defense on Volskya, this works just like 𝐒𝐻𝐼𝐻. I'm usually hiding behind here and healing my teammates at the choke. Usually that works really well. I know I see some Mercies in this room, just like on 𝐒𝐻𝐼𝐻. There's a fucking small health pack in there. You can heal them. The only thing is that you just don't have a lot of visual information, and if someone zips through, you're not going to know where they are, and if someone pushes in, you're not going to really have anywhere to fly out into. At least if I'm out here, I can fly to the soldier up here, or the Ana back here, or if there's someone up there I can fly up to. It's just in here, it's really enclosed, and you might get spammed and die. It's also the same amount of distance to get to that small health pack, except maybe if you're in here, you're closer, but still, out here is a lot better than being in that room. So you can heal them there, and if there's someone who is over here doing damage, I can also use this truck to play around and heal my teammates from there. But usually I find myself here, because then also I don't take any damage from anyone who might come up into that room, and if there's a Pharah flying through, I can see them as well. Once they start pushing through though, I eventually make my way back here and into this larger health pack. Because the reason why I don't back out into this smaller one is that people who are pushing through this side, they're gonna come right here and they're gonna see me hiding and healing my team from here. And then what am I gonna do? I'm dead. Even though there's a small health pack, that's not enough to keep me alive. So they're gonna come in here and kill me. That's why I want to back off into this room. Because even if they come through this way, I can at least hide back here and still heal my teammates as long as my beam's connected. And then I also have a large health pack. So if I'm really low, I can just hop on it and be in full health again. So I can heal my team from here. Once they're on the point, I usually find myself back here. If I really, you know, if there's someone over here who I can't reach, I'll eventually find myself back here, healing my teammates. Now, sometimes I'll be up here as well, healing my soldier, and then I can also come up forward here and heal everyone on the choke. It just depends on what's going on. If I'm ending Valkyrie, again, hopefully my team has killed their team. There's also not really many places to hide or to land on as Valkyrie. So sometimes I'll land there as Valkyrie or there or just back at that spot right there. Or even here. But usually I find myself just landing wherever my team is hiding. Now for defense on Volskya, again, my favorite spot is this little room up there. It's just really difficult to kill the Mercy from up there. You can heal your entire team from here. You can heal people who are over here and also from here. And then also you're blocked by the choke, so they can't see. The only thing they can see is a beam connected to your teammates. You can even use this to heal your team from the choke. If they push out a little bit too far, that's when you gotta tell them to back out. Or you can even drop down and heal them. But you can heal a lot from being just up in that little room up there. The only thing is that after maybe about 2 to 3 pushes, you're going to want to move because they're going to want to kill you. They're going to be tired of your shit. And they're going to fly into your face with a D.Va or a Genji or a Winston and you're going to die. So after 3 pushes, make sure you at least rotate so that they don't kill you. Sometimes I even play here if I really need to, because then I can also heal my teammates from high ground. You can even also drop behind here and heal your teammates if you want to. You also get a small health pack back here if you need it, and then there's also one back here too if you need it. But I don't really find myself back here unless I'm making my way back from the point and I'm healing who's ever standing on the point. And then for Valkyrie defense, the really only good spot for you to hide again is just in that room, because that's just the beautiful Mercy room. Alright, now that is it for all the positioning for assault maps. I'm going to do other positioning video for other style maps. I'm pretty sure my next one will be for Koth maps, because Lord knows those are just pretty difficult to position yourself on. I hope you found this video useful, and hopefully that will give you kind of an idea of how I like to play. I pretty much like to play very evasively and being able to take the least amount of damage as possible where I'm standing. Now, if you've taken some of the positioning tips that I told you and it worked out for you, let me know. I would love to know about it. Again, I hope you find this video very useful. If you'd like to watch more of my videos, make sure you subscribe so you'll know whenever I upload something. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye!